Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody had a good Christmas and a good New Year. As you can see, it's really bright out here. Figure I'd give you an update real fast on what's been going on and what's happening. Over Christmas, we had 3 weeks off, so I didn't work for 3 weeks. It's fairly cold during that time. Got a few storms, but nothing major. I just didn't have any money coming in to be able to buy parts and that work on anything. The only thing we've done with the Yukon is change some lights. Same thing on the Chevy there. But I don't know if you saw that in the corner. We got rid of the Buick and picked up a 2025 Tiguan 4Motion SE spec. So the 4Motion's the all-wheel drive version of the car. This one is a Wolfsburg edition, so it's got black leather with orange trim in it. Open it up and show you. We did put seat covers on the seats just so that when we haul the dogs, they're not ruining it, but there's the seats. They're nice. This had 15 miles on it when we bought it. It's got 200 now, so giant infotainment screen with all the fingerprints all over it. The one thing I do like about this is actually got an actual shift knob versus the push buttons that the Buick had. And then the mode select is a knob also. The reason why I got the Wolfsburg edition is for the heating controls, which is all knob controlled. Can't hardly see it, but it's got a giant panoramic screen that goes almost all the way back. And so far so good on it. A couple of bad things on this thing so far. The remote start from the factory does not work worth a crap. You have to use their app, which is only good for 5 years. The actual key fob remotes, and I have one in my pocket, I'll show you. I could be standing in my kitchen and it will not work. I have to move towards the garage door and it'll work, and it's a common thing. You have to get the extended range key fobs and get the extended range antenna put in, but it's like $1,000. So why wouldn't Volkswagen put that in from the factory? Is beyond me. Also, for people that live in the north, I know you probably experience this quite a bit. When you remote start the car, Volkswagen's factory programming brings the ambient temperature in the car to 72 degrees, summer or winter, hot or cold. So it'll heat to 72 or cool to 72 degrees. Well, that doesn't do any good when it's 10 below outside and you're trying to thaw a windshield out. Now, it will not hold settings that you set the night before. If you set it on high and defrost, it automatically reverts to the 72 degrees. Once you actually get in the car and start it, then it will go back to the settings you had the night before. So if you let it warm up for 10 minutes, you may not be thawed out. And that's one of the biggest complaints and stuff we see on the forums is that remote start. But other than that, it's been really nice. It's a really good car. We really like it. I mean, our Buick was a 2021 and it was about out of warranty. So we got a really good deal on trade-in on this and got 0 down and 0 interest. So that helped a bunch and it saved us a ton of money. So the blue, she wanted blue. So we got that. It came with different wheels and you get some trim and the silver plated mirrors. Like this is the turn signal indicator for when you're coming. Kind of hard to see, but right here's a sensor, and then it's got a big sensor on the inside right here for when a car's next to you. And then there's that big giant sunroof there. So yeah, we're trying to get to learning it and get used to it and all the features and functions and figure out how stuff to get going on it. So there's not really much other than that. It's got the 2.0T, the EA888 engine that they've used a long time. That's been fairly reliable for Volkswagen. The only downfalls that we've seen on reviews and stuff on this is just the infotainment system can be a pain in the ass. The truck, I'm still debating whether I want to trade this off or not. It sits 99% of the time and like I said, I only use it to go to the dump or whenever, once a month, once every couple months. In the meantime, it sits. So if somebody who has a family might as well enjoy the crew cab, and maybe I'll go back just to a standard cab square body or what. But it's hard for me to give up that 6-liter and the 4L80 that's in that. So we'll see. And in here, see, we've got the bed is up on jack stands. I've been doing some work, a little bit of work on it. I pulled the blower motor out just to check inside and see if that was all plugged up or anything on there. I've got the center console tore apart because I want to replace the rubber shift boot. It's all tore up on the other side. So that is actually on order right now. And I had crawled underneath and found that where that rubber boot, there's a mount in there that holds it up tight and mounts to the transmission. Well, that had come apart. One of the bolts had come out and then everything else had backed off. So we took that off, got it back up in place and bolted it back down. Some of the threads did pull out of the mounting, so it's aluminum. So I need to, I'm going to try and get a longer bolt so it'll go through more and get some more threads, catch some threads and hopefully stay tight. And whilst we removed the spare tire and carrier and assembly, and so that dropped probably 50 pounds off the rear end. Unfortunately, paint has popped off here, so I'm going to end up sanding this down and probably masking off a section and trying to respray a little bit. Don't forget, guys, this car's got a salvage title, so I'm not overly worried about it, but I am trying to fix it and drive it and use it. I do want to sell it. I would like to sell it and get a C5 just so we can have a little more legroom. The seats are better in the C4s. The engine's got the same horsepower as the C5, the LS1s. This LT4 car is rated at 330 horsepower, but they underrated it at the factory. Most of them run between 340 and 360, which is right there with the LS1s. Yes, the LS1s are a lot easier to work on and a lot more support and parts for them. So that's kind of why I want to do that. I'd love to put the Knight Rider TV headlights in one of those and get that half popped up look. Did have a coolant leak on this thing over the winter and over most of the summer. Found a couple of the water pump bolts had backed off loose, so it was just weeping out the bolt holes on the gasket. So tightened that up over Christmas break and let it sit, and I haven't seen any dripping coming out because I wiped off the spots where it was leaking. So that is done. Nothing else is really doing anything on this. I had it up on jack stand because I wanted to, one, find that coolant leak, and two, check U-joints and stuff on it on the drive line, the drivetrain, which everything feels tight. So every once in a while I'd get a clunk out of it when I'm going, but I found that mount loose. So I'm hoping that's what it was, that it was banging on that. We'll see in the spring when we can drive it again. We're extremely down on snow, so it could be sooner than later before we start getting to drive again, unless we get something coming in February. There's nothing, the main roads are dry now. If I could get out of the driveway, I could probably drive it now, but I'm not going to take that chance. Cold tires, and these aren't designed for being out in the cold like this, although they probably would. And then on truck, I got that open. I've got to clean that terminal off. I've got baking soda on it because it had a bunch of stuff. We're trying to decide if we want to change the mufflers out on it. I don't like the Flowmaster FXs, so I might just put straight Flowmaster 40s on it and see how that goes. Oh, I changed out the seat base on the Corvette because the power seats did not work on the driver's side, so now the power seat works. I put a whole new seat base in that, changed everything over, and I fixed this door panel. I don't know if you guys remember, but this door panel had a huge gap right here, would never stay, so we've fixed that a cheap and easy way. Other than that, the pickup's not really getting much done to it unless that's it. Again, this is hers, so if she wants something done, she needs to say something. So that is where we're at. Nothing special, nothing spectacular. That's why I haven't been posting much. Disappeared down to Arizona in November to go see my grandma for her 90th birthday for a week. Got to rent a 2025 Hyundai Sonata. I think I have footage of that, so I may post that and edit that and see how it turns out. Other than that, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later.